Good morning. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill from the KMET Weather Center. For the Beaumont and the Banning area for the daytime hours on your Wednesday, expect sunny skies, highs in the lower 60s. For the daytime hours in the IE area, expect sunny skies, highs in the upper 60s. And for the daytime hours in the Coachella Valley, sunny skies, highs near 70 degrees. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. How are you spending your day? We are spending it in a good way. We got Jesse Sanchez over there, which is pretty energized over there, more than normal. I go, what are you drinking, and should I be drinking that? And, of course, we're always looking for a little bit of energy in these days that we're living in because, boy, oh boy, the things going on around the world. And I can tell you right now, we got some weird stuff. But here's what I can say. No matter what happens in the world, we need to be careful. Right, Jesse?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Always be careful. To be honest, one of the most um the one thing that I remember, always look both ways before crossing the street, right?
Oh, God, thanks for saying that.
Okay, so I don't know where that message disappeared to, but the fact that a lot of people don't pay attention to that and they just stare at their phones as they cross the street.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I almost hit like three people so far, but it's
Whoa.
just, well, yeah, this guy, he was looking at his phone and he was crossing the street, but didn't realize that it was a red light for him.
Oh,
So it's like, dude, what the heck? And he
yeah.
was like, oh my God, I almost died.
Yeah. I've seen that in parking lots. I've seen that on the street. And I've seen that in the local area of Jefferson, okay? If you live and or know anyone near Jefferson, I guarantee you people are driving weird. People are kind of going into other lanes. People are not paying attention. And then you got bicyclists or cyclists, whatever you want to call them. You got people with scooters. You know these scooters that just kind of go up and down the streets. I was literally near USC where there's a lot of students, and a lot of kids, and they don't obey any of the rules of the road. And the problem with that is one of them got hit, I think like 3 weeks ago, by a hit and run. Meaning people are hitting you and running away. I literally saw one yesterday, which was posted, I think, at ABC on YouTube. You got to see YouTube's ABC channel. It's awesome. Which, I don't know if we're still on the same channel. YouTube, I mean. Streaming right now. So if you guys are tuning in, let us know you're tuning in. Like Stephanie Reed, Emily Lucia. Stephanie says, hello, happy editing this chilly cold winter wonderland for today's awesome busy day. She's in Cleveland, Ohio, just so you know, tuning in from over there. Heidi Guyton is also tuning in. We appreciate you as well. Just let us know where you're tuning in from. We'll give you a little shout out. And here's what I could say. If you, like Jesse, are aware as a driver that there are people unaware, you'll be more careful. That's all I can say about that. Be more attentive, being more careful of your surroundings, that you don't strike somebody and then be so scared that you don't stop to help them out. Because guaranteed somebody has a camera, somebody has a family, and somebody needs to report. Now, a lot of these, I've been doing research on several of them because I'm trying to catch each and every one because they're offering big rewards now, right? So it's almost a situation where it's like, you're not going away for long. You know what I mean? You're not going to hide away for long. You're going to go away for, well, that depends, right? But if you just stop and you let people know, I'll give you an idea. I was parked in a location at a 7-Eleven yesterday, and this I think maybe teenager-ish kind of suddenly went behind me from an area I would say is a blind spot, right? Now, thankfully, the vehicle that I'm driving is a Denali, and the Denali has those rear camera video things, right? But remember to always look behind you and don't trust just those. That's a secondary, not a first, right? Because I see sometimes people just trust that, but you don't know about the blind spots. It doesn't have the blind spots ready to go, right? And I've had that in parking lots. I've seen people kind of zoom like around another parking person and like right near the entrance, you know, where everybody slows down for, because you don't know. You could be like a vehicle being behind a truck, but the truck sees somebody wanting to cross because they're coming out, or most likely they're coming out of the shopping area. But nope, in a city recently, they go right around it and then almost zoom past it. So I will say this: you gotta be careful. Okay, you have to be careful. So Jesse, thank you for saying that, man. Look both ways, be cautious, get off your phones, and be aware of your surroundings. I think that's probably the biggest tip of today, right?
It really is, because honestly, oh my God, these people. I don't know if it's everywhere. Just I don't know if it's just California, but like I'm talking to the people that zoom across the parking lots when they're not supposed to.
Yeah, yeah.
People. It's just like, what are you doing? It's just like, oh my God.
Well, I'll say something. Yesterday was interesting. I was in a parking lot, and I was getting flame broiler, right? And then I saw this guy do a push-up that I was like, wait a minute. That's a, like, convict push-up, if you know what I mean. You know the push-up? Like,
No, what's a convict push-up? Because I've seen a bunch of different push-ups. Like I remember when I was in high school, I was in the junior ROTC program. Oh my God! And there was a time where we did push-ups against one another. This one kid, oh my God, he went next level and just started doing them on his thumbs. So yeah. So what's a convict push-up?
a convict push-up is a certain stance that convicts have where their shoulders are always raised and they're always like looking around. I'm not gonna judge anybody, but like he had like a wife beater outfit, right? And he had a bunch of tattoos. But the type of push-up he did in public, out of nowhere, was just a convict type push-up. Okay. Now at first he looked kind, and he had his lady with him, and it looked like he had car trouble. Not gonna lie. So as I passed him in my vehicle, he kind of waved at me. And I was like, okay. But I kind of saw this guy from afar because I was there at Flame Broiler. And I was like, I wonder. Because lately, I've been like investigating certain cases, like hit and run cases, murder victims, and them going, can you locate the killers, right? So the LAPD is offering rewards, but more importantly, they're offering like pictures, they're offering some evidence. They're not offering all evidence. I'm like, well, you can only offer so much. But I'm kind of like in that mode of like, what is suspicious about this guy, right? So part of me was like, do I take a picture of the license plate? Do I not? So I was like, oh, maybe I will, maybe I won't, whatever. And I went around and I came back because I'm like, did he wave at me because he needed, something for the car? But the cautious me was like, I'm going to make sure just to be aware, right? Because I've already been beaten once, right? Out of nowhere. So the cautious me kind of took my phone out, pretended like I was on the phone, and I took a picture before I said anything to him, right? Now, I'm on the phone like a regular person, right? You can't know I'm taking a picture of you. He literally is like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I was wanting to see if you want help. I mean, I was going to say that. He came up at me, wait, take my picture. And then he says, give me your phone. I'm like, you. And then he called me a cop. And I was like, uh-oh, somebody's on probation and he hasn't seen his probation officer. So I have a picture of the guy. If the guy ever commits something and or his picture gets flashed somewhere, I know exactly where he's at. I know what vehicle he's rolling with, and I just know. Now, I got safely away from him, but he's like the third person that I've had to kind of deal with that come up all of a sudden, and they act like they know everything, when in reality, you're like, well, it's kind of my right to take a picture. You're in public. Like, you know what I mean? What have you to hide? I didn't do it like big time in his face, and I was in my vehicle. So at the end of the day, why'd you call me a cop? That's number one. Number two, what have you to hide? And number three, if you got nothing to hide, then why are you concerned about somebody taking a picture of you? So, and you're in public in a parking lot, and you flagged me down, and you're putting like radiator stuff or coolant in the vehicle. I thought you needed my help. Like, forget that. I'm not going to help you, because I was going to help him. He looked like a nice guy-ish, right? Every convict needs a secondary, look to be like, okay, you need help. I didn't judge him in that way fully. I have judged him. Does that make sense? But by the time he came at me like that, without me saying a word of just like, no, I just wanted to, like, I just drove around to help him out. And he was just so suspicious. I go, okay, you're hiding something. And I guarantee you, if somebody goes missing, you're the guy to do it, right? So I have that photo on my phone just in case, right? So, but that's my point. So you look, be mindful, be careful. They say recently, especially due to like in Inglewood, they say human trafficking is the thing, and they just had a sting operation where they actually rescued 33 girls. Okay. Granted, they're in a prostitution type trafficking ring because that's what trafficking means. They should just say a prostitution ring. So these are young underage girls. So obviously somebody's picking up the tab, right? But 33 of these girls, against their will, since a young age, here in California, in the Inglewood area. Now they're saying they're putting a huge campaign because there's a lot of players and athletes coming to the area. So you know what that means, Jesse. They get these girls and then, yep.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so that's a huge awareness program that they're doing in LA. But my point is this: we're surrounded by criminals, man. I have my eyes open now ever since I've been seeing the hit and runs, and people just take off for whatever reason, usually because they're on drugs, or they don't have insurance, or they have a prior, or they have something else. They think they can hide it, right? Or they'll fix the vehicle, okay? That's an interesting one. I can't wait to share that one with you, but that's one that I cannot wait to share. But you got to be careful. Now, in other news, I know none of you want to hear about this because it's like, are you kidding me? It's all criminals all around us. I say this, just be aware of your surroundings, okay? If you feel something about someone or you feel something weird about like maybe a couple or a duo, just steer clear. Just steer clear. I'm in the business now of tracking down murderers and killers and people that would, run away from the scene of a crime, because there are so many that are getting beat up or stabbed or killed in the LA area. It's like, are we living in Gotham City? What the heck, right, Jesse?
Honestly, if I lived there, it probably feels like that. But you know what? Do you want to know why I have a beard? Because people are scared of it.
You know what? You got such a nice face. There's nothing to be scared about with you.
But no. Okay, look at this. When I worked at a video store, okay, so I was clean shaven, and I had people mess with me. I was surrounded one time, and it got bad. So I grew my beard. Nobody messes with me because they think I'm like dangerous. As long as I keep a serious face and make myself look scary, nobody will mess with me.
Okay, I get that. Because you could look mean and massive because you're kind of, you're a tall guy.
Yeah, so a lot of the times when I smile is so that people be like, yeah, he's friendly, blah, blah, blah. But like if I'm scared, no, I'll keep a serious face.
Okay, I get that.
The beard helps.
I get that. I get that. I get that. Bella Estrada is tuning in. Thank you, Bella. Let's see. Tanya Orozco says, good morning. Good morning, Tanya. Stephanie Reed says, we have people in Ohio like that. People text and drive and always in a rush to get to nowhere. That's a good point, and that's the best way of saying it. Beatrix Logan's tuning in. We thank you for tuning in. Share with us where you're tuning in from and let us know what you feel and or think and or want to know more about. Now, I will say this. I have a friend who is a male nurse, okay? And he recently got coronavirus. I'm not sure which variant he got, but I just know he and his family have coronavirus. Now, through the grapevine of family members, which my mom talks to his mom all the time. They've known each other before I was born, actually, and him too. I think he's like a year older than me. Anyway, so we kind of lost touch, but he's texted me recently and heard about my situation through, again, his mother, I think. And he shared something, I guess with his mom, which shared with my mom, that even though he has coronavirus, he has to go back to work in 5 days. And, well, that's a dumb new CDC thing, right, Jesse? I see your face. You're like, what the heck, right? Now, he and his family have coronavirus, right? So they're taking care of each other, right? Obviously. And he's got a little young one, little daughter, right? I don't know if she has coronavirus. I haven't done the research. But I will say this. There is information for people to be able, if you work in a place of 25 employees and more, you're going to want to hear this next bit of news when we come back right after these messages because it is very informational and you need to know this That way you can tell your employer, I am protected in California. I don't know about other states, but in California, this just enacted. I sent this information to him. So big shout out to Matthew Martinez out there, who is a good nurse and good at his job. He needs to take the full 2 weeks off, because I guarantee anyone's going to want to take the 2 weeks off if you could prove that you have coronavirus. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Hi everyone, Dave Levine here. The Dave Levine Show is back on the air, 10 to 11 a.m. Wednesday mornings on KMET 1490. Join me for an hour of Law & Order stories and commentary. Law & Order is now the #1 issue for Californians. If you miss it live, you can hear or watch it 24/7 on either SoundCloud or Livestream. See you there. Thank you.
Can't you see with just a few seconds?
When it comes to health and well-being, cellular hydration is the key. You could say that hydration is the key to every wellness program. And structured water in its natural state, is the key to cellular hydration. Most of the water available to us has been processed for purity, safety, and convenience. But processing causes water to lose its natural hexagonal structure, with unfortunate effects for our bodies. Now you can take your personal hydration to a whole new level with the glassware that restructures water in just 3 minutes. Golden Ratio Products brings you these amazing water bottles, carafes, and drinking glasses which put the life back into the water you drink. Try it and you'll be amazed at the effects you feel in your body. Go to goldenratioproducts.com for the next phase of your water consciousness.
Ruth didn't know she was leaving for good. She knew he would kill her. Could she save herself? Did she feel she was worth saving? How could she best protect her children? To love, honor, and betray, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her true tale. From submissive to survivor, then thriver. Now living a proud, purposeful life as an optimistic, inspiring, peaceful warrior. Can a person heal from feeling the guilt of a decision altering many lives? Weighted by living grief, moving through lessons learned, self-discovery, and land in self-love? Can someone who's been abused in every way move to self-trust, confidence, and arrive at living in peace? To love, honor, and betray, a sincere, honest letter. To herself and her adult children, Ruth Tunnicliffe shares her story so that others may also find the inspiring, peaceful warrior within. Amazon worldwide, Barnes & Noble, RuthTunnicliffe.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. You're joining Jesse Sanchez and myself. And this is good information for everybody out there because, boy, oh boy, it is a pain in the butt with the things that they're coming out with, especially CDC. You guys really have caused a whirlwind of a situation. And this is one of those things, sometimes I don't care for certain things that he's done, but in this case, I do care. And here's why. When you are sick with coronavirus, A, I don't want you to be in front of me. B, if I'm in the hospital, I definitely don't want you in front of me. And C, if I'm in for something else, do you think I want you to drink and then possibly give it to other workers, spread it to the rest of us that are just in there for some other thing? What do you think, Jesse?
Wait. Say that again. I'm trying to process what you just said.
Okay, let's say you're in because you broke your arm.
Okay.
Okay? You're in the emergency room.
Okay.
You have no coronavirus.
Oh, and what if my nurse was?
Yeah. Or more importantly, what if your nurse hangs out with other nurses and then gets it transmitted to you. You went in just to take care of yourself, but nope. Now you have coronavirus because you went to the hospital where they actually make them come back after 5 days because, hello, they pay attention to the stupid CDC, which was, hello, 14 days of quarantine. Oh, quarantine doesn't matter after 5 days. Does that make any sense?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. So here's the new news. This had expired in September of last year, but they're extending it, okay? And you need to hear about this. California workers are going to get a 2 week of paid time off if they get sick from the coronavirus, while businesses would get up to $6 billion in tax cuts and other assistance under the proposal endorsed by Governor Gavin Newsom and state's top legislative leaders. They had a similar law in place last year, but it expired in September as the start of the virus slowed significantly. Which means, remember in September, they're kind of like, okay, we're over the worst of it, right? That was kind of the mentality. And I was like, no, don't let go of that. There's variants coming. And then, Jesse, you're like, there's a variant in India. There's a variant in Africa, right? And then that's where kind of came out. And we didn't know was going to be as bad at the time. And then in November, December, it started to peak and surge and surge and surge. And then they kind of still said, oh, it's not as bad. But the surging has happened. Hospitals are still almost at full. And there you go. Right. Then you have people not quarantining as long as they should, giving it to others. We're not ahead of here. Oh, by the way, Pfizer announced that by March they should have another vaccine specifically for So that's good news. And I've been saying that for the last several weeks to say, hey, be ahead of that. When it comes out, I would definitely go ahead and make avail of that, because even if you get coronavirus once and you get well from it, you may still get it again. And you may not be okay from it. You may have a good immunity, but you don't want to depend on that always. Does that make sense? So just be careful going forward. I know they interviewed the Pfizer CEO, and the Pfizer CEO said, look, because I know people are like, hey, I just got my coronavirus shot. I'll be good for the rest of ever, right? It doesn't work that way. How many months does it work typically in your body, Jesse?
Most around 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, it's actually 4 to 6 months. And because it's 4 to 6 months, and that depends on your biology and how you kind of, it's kind of like food. You know how some people have a fast metabolism? It's kind of like that. If you have a fast metabolism, you go through that vaccine in your body within 4 months. If you have a slow metabolism where you don't do much, then technically it's more like 6 months. 8 months is unheard of in vaccine world, and no vaccine will ever be proven to be effective for longer than that. You could do the research on that if you think I'm wrong, because guaranteed you're going to go, oh my goodness, okay? So having said that, this Pfizer CEO actually said we're looking at probably like a yearly vaccine for now, right? Like the flu shot. The flu shot, you don't get it once and done if you're high at risk. You get it before the season occurs, right? Which is why usually you get it in October or November, very rarely in December, because usually the surge of a flu, if you're at risk, would be November, December, and January, possibly February, which is why the flu shot, like a vaccine, happens temporarily, but why it comes out yearly, because guess what? Oh, yeah, that's right. The flu is different every single year, so there's different strains. So it will predominantly be against the strains that they foretell coming, because they can see what happens in the world and say flu is each every year. Never the same. So it's the most recent one. So that means at least they're going, okay, we get it, but the problem is everybody's thinking in weird ways like, okay, my first and my second shot and I'm done. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to understand that they have to cover the variant that's coming out. For example, are we ahead of the M one that they saw and have been discovering in France?
No, they haven't named that one yet. It's still being researched.
Yeah, but it's bad. I can say that much. So they do not have, like they had with the they did not have the vaccine. Now, Israel has been treating what they call a fourth phase. Okay, so they're ahead of it in Israel, which I say, good job, Israel. What's happening here at the U.S.? And reporters are starting to ask that question. But the point of it all is you have to be aware you can make it right. And if you live here in California, I don't know about other states, but it's becoming a situation where you're going to need to let your business know that you can get your pay for the 2 full weeks or 14 days if you have coronavirus. Labor unions, major donors to politicians have pressured state officials to bring the paid sick leave law back. Again, this is in California. Business groups have opposed the extra sick leave as industries are struggling to retain workers during the pandemic. Last year, businesses could get a federal tax credit to offset some of the costs, but that tax credit is not available this year. Newsom and other leaders have agreed to end some tax increases on businesses. Not good. Some tax increases. Okay, good. I should say that. These tax increases were imposed in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. State officials feared they were headed toward a major budget deficit. Instead, state revenues have soared during the pandemic. The tax increases were scheduled to expire at the end of this year. Newsom and other leaders have agreed to end them 1 year early. That's the good news. That's the good news. In other words, businesses are going to be like, okay, thank you, because it's the cost of living is way too much. They agreed to spend more money on a state grant program for businesses and not charge state taxes on federal grants, some of them. It adds up to about $6 billion for businesses. Now, the proposals were announced. Senate President Tony Atkins and Assembly Speaker Anthony Randon are on this. It has to. The legislature is still having to approve it. I believe they're going to approve it because it's the right thing to do. I don't see anybody denying this because people need to get paid for time off. Or some would say, don't I qualify for sick time? Some places do not. All right, some people do not. The proposal calls for workers to get 1 week of paid time off. Workers would get a second week off if they or their family members test positive for the virus. Companies would have to provide the coronavirus test and pay for it. Which is odd because I thought it was more free. But, worst case scenario, you just say, hey, I got a test that, it's $20 at Walgreens. I mean, it's not that difficult. Workers who refuse to be tested or won't share the results with their employers would not get the extra week off. I did not know that. Interesting. I'd be okay to share that I have coronavirus. You know what I mean? And then be like, I get to have another week of time paid off. Thank you. Plus, I don't want to get the other workers sick, right?
Right? I'd be like, heck yeah, paid weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Bob Schoonover, president of the California chapter of the Service Employees International Union, says, we know we can't wait for employers to keep us safe. Boy, oh boy, hospitals, get with it. We have to advocate for ourselves, and Governor Newsom and legislators listened. SEIU members feel proud to have been part of this critical decision that protects our communities. The proposal only applies to companies, this is the only thing, people, with at least 26 workers. All right. Under 26 workers, that's considered a very minor business or super small business. Some small businesses have more than that, and so you would be covered by this. When it becomes law, it will expire in September. Okay, so you have up till September, as far as I know, on this in California, as business groups have pushed for any sick leave law to be limited in duration, which I say, hello, what happens when you get sick? Jennifer Barrera, who's president and CEO of the California Chamber of Commerce, said businesses are committed to the safety of their employees and the workplace. Well, that's what any Chamber of Commerce would say, but she also said elected leaders must ensure a balanced policy so that private sector employers who are also struggling to remain afloat during these surges in the broader pandemic are not unfairly shouldering the cost of COVID-19. Look, if you have every employee getting sick because of COVID, because you demanded them come back due to CDC law about 5 days and such, which really isn't a law, it's a recommendation, but everybody's viewing it as law, but it shouldn't be viewed as law. Because whether you come back in 12 days, 13 days, 14 days, even then, it wasn't a thing. Nobody's gotten blasted for that, right? But it's a good safety protocol that everybody should want to adhere to. Now, others will not, and I get that. They're the ones that will give you the cold, the flu, and other things. So they're like, and you're like, okay. So, but my point is this. You got a kid at school, they come home, they get the whole family sick, and you're a parent that needs to take care of the kid, it qualifies for that too. This article doesn't really talk that way, but anyway, I saw a news report that was a little bit more informational, but there you go. So check out that. Obviously, if you're a parent taking care of your kid with coronavirus, guess what? You're prone to it, but more importantly, you need to take care of your kid as well. So I think it covers that too. Find out the information, get it to your employer, and say, hey, we have more than 26 employees. We're covered by this, and we live here in California. Thank God. Again, should other states follow suit? I say yes. I didn't know this was a thing as of last year either, and I didn't know that it expired in September. I'm glad they're renewing it. There's more things that need to be renewed because the surge is already here. And we're starting to get reports about people dying at all-time highs again since last March. So if we have more numbers like that, obviously we need to be mindful of it. We need to be mindful of each other, and we need to be mindful that each and every one can and or will die because of this. Because I've already been to a funeral in the last couple of weeks where a good family member did die. Okay, and it was sad to see the whole family just, suffering because of it, because she was young, 28. But there you go. All right. Patricia Sommer says, it is crazy. Elgenia says, good morning, friends. Life is great. We can endure and help protect ourselves the best way we can. Justice will be to do the right thing for the masses. Time paid off for those that qualify based on area is great. Yes, exactly. So that's good news, and that's news worth sharing. Okay, so share that with those that you love. And I know I sent the text right away last night to my nurse friend, Matthew, and I said, look, man, basically, look at this. Don't worry. You're covered. Take the time off for you and your family, because you do not want a sick nurse around you, right? All right, people, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Are you a self-published author that maybe underestimated the challenges of marketing your own book? I'm Suzanne Lynn, and we help authors sell more books through video interviews and radio advertising. You see, a professional video interview is really an author's secret weapon for marketing because it makes an emotional connection with your reader that can be posted to social media, YouTube, your book's landing page and website, your Amazon author page, and even sent to media to request interviews. We guarantee that video interview will be viewed by a minimum of 3,000 people in your target audience. And let's face it, no one can sell your book better than you speaking about it yourself. Plus, we can run commercials on our nationwide network of radio stations that targets your specific reading audience. Find out more at GiveMyBookWings.com. That's GiveMyBookWings.com. Again, GiveMyBookWings.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control, and in many cases get the breathing room you need. Garnish wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call the Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
Hi everyone, Dave Levine here. The Dave Levine Show is back on the air, 10 to 11 a.m. Wednesday mornings on KMET 1490. Join me for an hour of Law & Order stories and commentary. Law & Order is now the #1 issue for Californians. If you miss it live, you can hear or watch it 24/7 on either SoundCloud or Livestream. See you there. Thank you.
Can't you see with just a few seconds?
Back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron. That's Jesse over there. Jesse, what's going on in the world?
You know what? I just realized what day it was, like calendar-wise. Who's playing in the Super Bowl? Do you know?
That's the athlete thing that they said be careful of human trafficking situations. They're doing a huge campaign with the from all the people coming in. I don't know after that. See, I haven't been actually. Super Bowl 2022, right?
Yeah.
I have not been watching sports. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't watch sports. I just realized, the first or second month at the end or something like that, the Super Bowl is. So, me, I always enjoy the halftime show and the commercials. But I just realized I don't watch enough sports to determine who's going to be playing. So I really don't know.
Well, and they're coming to the new stadium over here in LA. So it's going to be jam-packed. Okay, a lot of visitors from out of state. It will be. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I got this right. Okay, Super Bowl LVI. What is that? Like, let's see. LVI.
I don't speak Roman numbers, so
I know.
no.
LVI is the only one I don't understand. That was a difficult one. Is it L50? I can never remember. 56 maybe? 56? It's only a few weeks away. There's still a lot that has to be determined. The AFC and NFC champions are still up for grabs. The AFC championship game will feature. Hold on, let me make sure this isn't old news because I really don't know who's going against each other. Let's see. One day ago. Okay, that's fine. They will feature. I am such the wrong guy to report this. Will feature the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chiefs are looking for their third consecutive Super Bowl appearance, while the Bengals are hoping to win their first conference title since the '88 season. Now, the NFC Championship game will feature the LA Rams going up against the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams have made the Super Bowl over the last 10 years, but both teams have come up on the losing side. They're hoping that a win on Sunday will give them enough momentum to get over the hump. So there you go. Now, when is the Super Bowl? It takes place February 13th, Sunday, 2022. Kickoff will happen at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Fans can tune in to the game on NBC. The teams in the Super Bowl will compete for the Vince Lombardi Trophy at SoFi Stadium. That's here in Inglewood. That's the new stadium. I don't know if you've been near there. It looks amazing on the outside. But that means there's going to be a lot of visitors from these states that are looking to be like, hey, let's do some pretty cool stuff. Stephanie Reed in social media says Tom Brady is not in the Super Bowl this year. The teams deserve a chance. So there you go. She's a Super Bowl fan. Shelly Watson, again, thank you. It will be the first time SoFi Stadium is hosting the Super Bowl. LA first held the Super Bowl in 1967, and the last time was in 1993. So will fans attend the game? Much like last season, the threat of coronavirus looms large. Super Bowl organizers have said the show will go on despite the emergence of the variant. LA County officials expect the stadium, which seats 70,000 plus, will be at max capacity for the event. As of December 15th, fans ages 5 years and older attending SoFi Stadium must provide a proof of full vaccination or a negative PCR COVID test. Not sure how they're going to do that, but whatever. Within 48 hours prior to the event and within 24 hours with an antigen test. Not sure what that means. Guests 18 years and older must have a photo ID and masks are required at all times unless eating or drinking. So that makes sense. I don't know how many will be out of town here that will apply that, but we'll see. I know here in California that some places have been more stringent than others to say, hey, show me your vaccination card, right? But I've never seen provide me a negative COVID test to get into a place like this because
I only see one problem with that.
Getting somebody else's and then being like, yeah, that's negative, even though it's positive, or what?
No. Okay, so the only people who get a negative test are people who are unvaccinated, correct?
Well, say it again.
So the only people who take a negative test, like a COVID test, are people who are unvaccinated, correct?
No, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, you still could get COVID.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
I see what you're saying. If you don't have a vaccination card,
you don't have a vaccination, you have to get a negative COVID test. But you could still have COVID and be vaccinated and still spreading it around. So that just seems dumb to me.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Thank you for saying that, though, because you're 100% correct. You could still have, because the vaccine helps protect you, but it's not 100% cure. People need to remember this. It's not an immunization. Immunization for like chickenpox or polio or certain other things, those things exist. It's not an immunization. It's a vaccine. It's a temporary little fix. If you remember that, it's still not 100% proof. So if you have a vaccination and you get sick, you're more better to fight it, but you're not 100% guaranteed it, especially if it's a new variant that you've never even heard of because you went traveling somewhere, some way. And oh, by the way, Just so you know, Jesse, this is new. I don't mean to put fear into the hearts of people. But COVID now kind of morphed into COVID-2. Your face says it all, man.
Oh God.
Yep.
I'm like, who rolled the? So, oh my God, who rolled serious disease? Okay, so explain what this is.
The World Health Organization is maintaining. It's called BA.2. They're saying currently. I'm not going to say that. They're following it. Okay, I'm not going to scare away, but basically, you got OM1 and you got OM2. Now, for those that follow us, you know that we've been talking about Delta, and we've been talking about Delta Plus. Very rarely do they talk about Delta Plus, but if you have Delta Plus, it's more severe than just Delta. Okay. This one they're looking at, and they say around the world it's rising, with at least 40 countries reporting cases to the tracking database, which in this database, when they test you, they're more specific. It's not like the little at-home test. This is a test where basically they catalog it, and then they put it in this database when you test positive, and they are able to kind of test it in a way that it has a numerical value. Right, so when we generalize it, we go, oh, you got Delta, oh, you got Alpha, oh, you got Beta, oh, you got Lambda, oh, you got oh, you got Mu, right? Mu's the one that we don't hear much about. Now you got 2, so you have 2, okay? The subvariant, which is what they're calling it, has been already detected here in U.S. states, with Washington State confirming 2 cases Monday, okay? Now, they say 8,000. See, they haven't even told us this, have been identified since November 2021. It's unclear where this one originated, but OM2 is the thing, all right? Even though the first sequences were submitted from the Philippines, numerous cases have since been detected in various places from Europe to South Asia. Given the rising numbers, healthcare organizations like the World Health Organization are asking scientists to watch and study the new, what they're calling subvariant. I wouldn't call it subvariant. I would call it a new variant of concern. And they're seeing if it behaves differently than OM1. So that's kind of good to know. Because when you get tested, you're like, which one did I get? Because they kind of... Just because it's called the same doesn't mean it is the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So we got to worry about variants, subvariants. Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. But subvariant makes it feel like it's less of a concern. I have a feeling it's more of a concern than we know. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dr. Meera Chan, who's the COVID incident director at the UK Health Security Agency, says it is the nature of viruses, this is what you were talking about, Jesse, as of last year, to evolve and mutate. So it's to be expected that we will continue to see new variants emerge as the pandemic goes on. So far, there is insufficient evidence to determine whether this one causes more severe illness than OM1, but data is limited. In other words, watch out for it. Okay. It says here, the evolution of COVID subvariants is not new. The Delta variant also had several subvariants, but scientists refer to all of them as Delta. Say that, but again, Delta Plus is worse than Delta. I can tell you that right now. BA.2, also known as OM2, has earned its own designation due to rising numbers across several nations. Although it's been called the stealth variant, that's called secret agent number 1. It can absolutely be detected through traditional surveillance mechanisms, whether through rapid testing or PCR, according to Dr. John Brownstein, who is the Chief Innovation Officer at Harvard University's Boston Children's Hospital and ABC medical correspondent. Conventional COVID tests can show a positive or negative result, but they cannot determine, this is what I was just saying, variants. It just says positive. It's like a pregnancy. It doesn't determine whether it's a boy or a girl, right? So, whether they have blue hair, green hair, or coral hair, right? You don't know what kind of DNA structure is in that. In other words, it's not a paternity test. You know what I mean? A paternity test gets more down to it. So it's kind of like that if you're going to think about it like testing situations. Scientists need to do additional genetic sequencing. Yep, 100%. The OM variant has a particular genetic signature that allows scientists to quickly and easily determine if the sample is OM or not. Good to know. But the subvariant, or I'll call it OM2, does not have that feature. meaning scientists can no longer use the shortcut. What? Excuse me? Though they can still identify the subvariant using genetic sequencing technology. Because of this, the OM2 subvariant has sometimes been referred to as the stealth variant. For the general public, COVID tests will still work to detect the subvariant, but you won't know whether it's 1 or 2. Does that make sense? While scientists and public health officials are urging continued research and surveillance, experts say there is little reason to worry. I say, don't pay attention to those people. Those are the ones that 3 months later they go, oh shoot, it's time to worry, right? Brownstein said this, OM2 is important from a public health perspective, and a lot more work needs to be done to understand severity, breakthrough infections, and immunizations before you can make any statement about clinical relevance. We're not at immunization with this just yet, just so you know. So this guy's kind of got weird stuff he's saying. But there you go. Because some people stick to the letter of the law and they go, it's an immunization now. It's not. It's a vaccine. It's going to be yearly, guaranteed. I would recommend anywhere from 6 to 8 months to get the latest one. And I would pay for that, even if like they don't say, oh, it's free, if that makes any sense. But I want to make sure my mom's safe. I want to make sure I'm safe. You know, I elected not to get the Moderna one. I elected not to get the first Pfizer one that came out. I got the third one for my mom, right? And then, although I didn't get it right away at first, I did get the fall version because I knew it was more safe than not. And there you go. But my mom is at high risk. So my mom basically I have to put on that risk category of, hey, I want to make sure you're good to go. And I know I'm careful every single step of the way. I wear N95 masks. I've been wearing them before they became all of a sudden popular, which, by the way, evidently at certain pharmacies, you can now get them for free due to the government saying, hey, give these out. So that's kind of important information. All right. So there you go. Jesse, what else is going on in the world?
Oh Lord, who knows? I mean, there's so many crazy stories that are going around right now. But what I do find fascinating is just how fast this how COVID mutates. Virology is so interesting, but it's just like once you start looking into it, it gets really horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Right. I don't know. It's just yeah, I'm just looking for something funny to talk about, but all I see are just horrible things.
I'm sorry, man. I'm telling you, it's a weird world that we live in. And look, whatever goes on in the world, just be ahead of it and just do the research. I lately, and I love this, by the way, I use the Roku. My mom watches it religiously. And I go, Mom, what's new in the news, right? And she watches small clips, right? Not like all full news. She just watches small clips, and it kind of determines what's important for us. And then, you do research. You go, okay, didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know that was a thing. But it's good. And then we follow science channels and space channels to kind of get our head out of coronavirusville and then get it out to, oh no, asteroid's going to come and kill us, right? So kind of like the movie Don't Look Up, right, Jesse? So
have you seen that yet or what?
No, not yet. I haven't been able to. I've been researching, trying to catch killers. So I know it's a thing. It's a new thing. Okay, so here's the thing, though, Jesse. Check this out. This that I'm gonna flash across people's screens. What does this look like, Jesse? Just out of curiosity to you.
Oh, I don't even know. What is some type of spaceship, or the insides or something?
It looks interesting, right?
It does. I kind of want to play in it. What is that?
You kind of want to play in it?
Yeah. What is it?
You know, I think it's funny that you want to play in this.
I don't know. I just see a bunch of buttons and knobs. I just want to just.
Well, according to this, U.S. government scientists said today they have taken an important step in the long trek toward making nuclear fusion.
Wait, what? Oh my God.
What happened, Jesse? I thought you were ready to push the buttons. Like, what, you want to play in it, right?
I am. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a new power source. Oh my God. I don't know. Are we ready for this?
I don't know, man. It's the very process that powers stars, a viable energy source for humankind. This is how they're telling it, okay? Now remember, this is public information now. This is going to scare me to no end, and I'll tell you why. There is nothing good when you have anything nuclear, period, end of story, okay? Chernobyl is a version of it. Fukushima, a version of it. When there is a power failure and or problems happen like a big earthquake, are you going to be able to shut that down? No. Okay? So I think that there's better ways to look at nuclear fusion. This is not inspiring hope to me, but here we go. Using the world's largest laser, the researchers coaxed fusion fuel for the first time to heat itself beyond the heat they zapped into it, achieving a phenomenon called a burning plasma that marked a stride toward self-sustaining fusion energy. The energy produced was modest, about the equivalent of 9-volt batteries of the kind that powers smoke detectors and other small devices. Wait, whoa. This big device powered up a little, and you're calling it a success? 9-volt batteries?
Like, I see this being the future, but we're in the early stages of it. So that's what I'm afraid of, because that's when the most accidents will happen.
Thank you for saying that, Jesse.
I mean, this could possibly be our problems with solve electrical problems, all that stuff. But like I said, we're still in the early phases of all this stuff. It's all experimental, and it's just like, as good as it is, one accident, boom, we're done.
I will say the inside looks pretty cool. I would want to be in the inside of this because this reminds me of like Professor X and then some. Like, check that out. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Can I be in that? Yeah, I'll pretend I'm Professor X.
But if it has a meltdown, I'm not going to lie, it reminds me of a Star Trek episode where Captain Kirk goes in to save the ship. Do you remember that?
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. So there's that. So that's where I'm kind of like going, it looks cool. Not going to lie. The experiments produced the self-heating of matter in a plasma state through nuclear fusion, which is the combining of atomic nuclei to release energy. Plasma is one of the various states of matter alongside solid, liquid, and gas. Alex Zylstra says, if you want to make a campfire, you want to get the fire hot enough that the wood can keep itself burning. You do realize nuclear is a whole other ball game than that, right? Why are you laughing, Jesse?
Because it's just funny. He
said, this is a good analogy for a burning plasma where the fusion is now starting to become self-sustaining. You don't want to self-sustain for 8 minutes at max. Okay, you got to have a way to figure out how to turn that off, how to harness it, and then get it to where it's got to go good, safely, and there you go. At the rate that we're having earthquakes in one place after another, I say no, temporary that thing, or just put it on for at least 8 minutes max. You do that, you'll be fine. You go beyond that, guarantee it's going to be a problem, okay? Although it looks beautiful on the inside, you do not want to be in it when it goes nuclear. Okay, period, end of story. Get like a good, 180, probably a good 40 to 80 miles radius. I would not want to be in the center of this thing. So there you go. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Jesse, any last words before we go?
Nope. Have a great day, and just be safe, and I'm excited for the future.
There you go. Let's have a future to come back to, right? All right, people. We'll be back tomorrow. Safe Place, Safe Channel. Bye-bye, everyone.